Considering the last post is so long, but that's actually really detailed, I've got more original documents to prove those statements, even though it's there in the statute declaration. And the reason being is the more you give my mother and her ugly sisters attention, the more they're going to gaslight me and lie. I can go back through my entire life. It's what they do to men. My mother's side have an issue with men. They do. Now, the more you give ugly, plain Jane women with no personality that need to drink to make them feel better, that's what they do on mum's side, attention, which is what they've been getting a lot of attention in the last 10 years since 2015, using me as a lie, then gaslighting me, denying the truth, even saying his grandmother lied. No, my nan didn't lie, neither did my grandfather. Okay, they'll do this because the people aren't around to put them in their place. They are the most ugly. Okay, and this is what's gone on over the years. Now I know where my twin sister Amanda gets it from. They've got no personality. They're plain Jane ugly women. They've got to drink alcohol to make themselves feel better. That just shows why this went on the last 10 years. They're just like, it's boring to even have a conversation with them. There's nothing to talk about. They didn't spend time with my grandparents and my great grandmother like I did, getting the information. I used to go and see Leo Patrick Sayer every Tuesday, even when he was in a nursing home in John Street, Leica, right up until he passed away, which was in 2002, just before Reginald George Purdy, my grandfather, passed away in Concord Hospital in November 2002. So I was 23 when Uncle Fred, Leo Patrick Sayer, passed away. French at high school, that's my French teacher. So she was a French and music teacher. I had her for French. There was two French teachers at my high school. There was, so Miss Davies, is this one? That's Miss Davies. That's who I had for French. However, who I had for music was Miss Cray. Where is she? Which I don't want to spend too much time on this to try and find her. But they were both, here she is, Miss Cray. So two French teachers. French was a long time part of the curriculum before they added another subject that was Indonesian. Amanda didn't do French. She did Indonesian. I did French. Amanda did Indonesian because she sucked up the teacher's ass. That was a friend of mum's. I thought, how boring. As per the documents to do with that time when Nan said about her great-grandmother being French, she didn't think I believed her, so she went to the cupboard. There was a orangey coloured timber, like a veneer thing, in between the lounge room and kitchen. When you look at it, the far right cupboard, that had chips and chocolates. The middle cupboard had a brown box. In that it had photos and documents. Nan pulled out this document and she goes, there. That's my grandmother. That's my great-grandmother. I told you I'm French, Justin. All right, Nan, I'm not the one that always says you're lying. That's your daughters, basically. So it's always my mother. So my mother and her sisters always go, oh, mum made that up. Oh, they've made it up. But like the only two people that the only three women that make up stories and lie are you three pony dogs. It's true. So I've still got a copy of that original document. I want the original. I'd like to know who's got it. Here it is. This is the document that Nan put out. I've got a copy now that I've requested. So this document here. So for immigration, I went and got original ones from birth, deaths and marriages. And Nan pulled this out. Okay. This is Julia's death record. Okay. There was the original one Nan pulled out. And she goes, there. I know who I'm related to, Justin. Bridget Dufresne. That's my great-grandmother. And it was right there on the document that Nan pulled out of the cupboard. She goes, I told you she's French. Nan used to get the shits because obviously Nan's been treated like this her entire life by her daughters. And they don't stop. They're still doing it. Mum's almost 70. She's still doing it. They won't change. They're ugly women with no personality. What do you expect? They've got to drink alcohol to make themselves look good. Or feel good, sorry. They've got no personality. None at all. They can't sit there and have coffee. They can't sit there and not drink alcohol because, well, they have no personality. They're ugly, plain Jane women. But this is the document that my nan pulled out, the original one, and I went and copied it. Okay? Years later, I went and copied it. So this is the document that I even took a photocopy of it, that Nan put out. It's Julia's death record, my Nan's grandmother Julia's death record, and on it it's got Julia's mother. And so, see, there you go, French. I told you I was French, and my sort of snigger was, yeah, but the rest of it's Irish and English. Still, but Nan really did like the fact that she was French. And I've got, let me show you. So the photo, the original photo that used to hang in Nan and Pop's bedroom. I mean, Miriam Michalski, you know the other photos of Nan. Oh, by the way, Miriam Michalski, so Mum's younger sister. You know the one that we used on the cover for Nan's eulogy? That used to actually hang in my wall. Funny enough, people didn't think that was Lola. They thought it was oh, that looks like Audrey Hepburn or some shit. I'm like, oh, that's my Nan. And it's, anyway. Actually, one second. Pause. This one. God, I love keeping documents. This one. So that's my grandmother. Okay, I've got the original somewhere. And this is the original photo I used to hang in my dad's bedroom. That's Lola. And that's Reginald. Yeah. And while we're talking about that, I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to do this really quick, like 5-minute one. But actually, there you go. There's the original. There's Pop. There's Nan at Pop's, one of Pop's sports cars. But I'm doing this. Dad will be able to tell you about his parents and their wedding portrait. I want to know who's got the original. I've got a copy. They actually had this photo painted. So someone in the family, that's Stanley Fleming, Ruby Jean Hill. That's their painted one. However, this is their wedding photo. Someone, oh, that's Nan's wedding photo? No, where's their wedding photo? Look down there. That's Lola May's wedding photo. I've got that too. There's Lola May and Reginald George Purdy. Wrong grandparents, hang on. Yep. Yeah. So these used to hang in Rushcutters Bay. And that's Ruby Jean Hill and Stanley Fleming. And that's Frank Edward Hill. So there we go. All verified. All backed up. Supporting documents. And, well, what a bizarre the last 10 years has actually been. That's all I can say. I think it's actually ridiculous. But that's just when people start making up stories. And I hate saying that about my mum and her sisters, but the last 10 years wouldn't have happened if they didn't keep going on with their same nature that they've always had. And it gets to a point where it's like, okay, you're damaging my credibility now. You damage my character and credibility, and I'm sort of over it. You know, they do this all the time, and then like they'll turn around and go, "Oh yeah, well that's right, that was right." I'm like, yeah, okay. Like it'll be like years later, it's like, yeah, this was brought up like 3 years ago, and you argue the fact, and now you're agreeing with the fact. So anyway, that's it. At that, I've got much more to do today than to verify myself. Literally, I've had photos of myself that I had on social media where people are like, oh my God, he's got photos of other people's kids on social media. No, dickheads, that's me. Yeah, that's me as a baby, me as a kid, me as a teenager. They're me. Yeah. Or family members. Like, you know, it's like just gone around circles for 10 years. I'm like, oh my God. The way people make up ridiculous bullshit stories is like, oh, you need help. Twisting something to be sinister, like photos of my family members on social media, photos of Luke Michalski's christening on social media. Like, there was Luke Michalski, Hayden Michalski, and Bradley Michalski at Luke Michalski's christening in 2003 in Blacktown. And I literally had people go, oh, he's got other people's kids on social media. I'm like, not other people's kids, my cousins. My cousins. That's Marianne and Richard Michalski, and that's their children. Marianne Michalski's my mum's younger sister. These are my cousins. Not other people's kids, but you're a sicko. So these people, I'm just like, wow, you are a sicko. You stalked my social media, and then you made up some ridiculous bullshit story. I'm like, fucking sicko, man. Go get help. Leave it there. There's all the other proof. And yeah. Oh, even the photo of myself. There's a photo of myself and Amanda. So Amanda Lee Fleming on the left. Mark Ian Fleming in the middle. Myself, Justin Mark Fleming on the end. Taken in 1990. Okay? That was twisted. It's like, that's not him. That's not Amanda. I'm like, it is. And yeah, that's Dad, Mark Ian Fleming. And like, he's got someone else's kids on social media. I'm like, no, that's me, you sicko. Seriously, people really have, I don't know what's happening to the world. Obviously, their minds are sick and twisted and they need help and stop projecting. But That is the world we are currently living in, where there's a lot of fucking weirdos. All right, leave it as that.